I teach in the technology department. I teach culinary arts and baking and pastry arts. I was hired 6 years ago to bring a program here that's different than other high schools. I have some background experience working out in the industry, not only in the state of Massachusetts, but in the state of Connecticut and New York. I've been a food service director for a city school, and I've also worked for off-premise catering companies in New York City. It is a program that offers students a hands-on experience different than just a straight textbook experience of baking and pastry and culinary arts. And we also have many guest speakers that will come in from culinary schools or baking schools to also show them skills. I think bringing something from out in the field back into the classroom to explain to the students that experience, it gives them a little extra interest or a vision of what the skill is that I'm teaching them, where it can bring them to post-secondary high school education. We have a wonderful situation where we break up the class and they're in different units by different labs that we do. And I think having an experience of being able to have a social skill of working along with others is a key element. And I would think a passion for trying different types of foods and herbs and spices that perhaps they may not have had experience with beforehand, but to know that it's a safe environment to experiment and try it in a public school. I go over the basic skills from safety and sanitation, measuring and equivalence, and then we get right into the labs. In baking and pastry arts, we have a wonderful time working with the desserts unit. So we cover cookies, quick breads, yeast breads, pies, and 2 different types of cakes, shortened cakes and unshortened cakes. In order for a student to achieve the best experience in the class is a very simple answer. They don't have to have that much prior knowledge of the subject, but I incorporate a lot of food science into the classroom. If they have an interest in understanding how and why something reacts together, or how something that could be something that looks so slimy and yellow come out of an oven looking so delicious and fluffy, I think that's pretty much a good prior knowledge. On a typical lab day, we're separated into groups to try to create a standard to a recipe that's within a unit. There's a lot of collaboration with other teachers within the school. We have other teachers come and evaluate a product, and I'm always telling my students that it's the process, not the product, and how they're creating it that will get to the end all of the lab. In other schools that I was teaching, there were many secondary level classes of both culinary arts and baking and pastry arts. Right now we just have an entry level, level 1, so it would be wonderful to have an advanced class, having experience at level 1 to come into a level 2. In the culinary arts class, it would be wonderful to do a world foods unit, which is something that has not typically been done in this school. In other schools I've offered it. In the past I've done things called a musical feast with a music department. There are 2 issues of a book called The Musical Feast, which has recipes and little anecdotes of musicians and what they've done. And we collaborate with the music department and the baking class, and we've created different recipes that artists were interested in putting together for a book, and so we put the 2 classes together. I think one of the most rewarding things I get out of teaching this class is a skill that a child will go through life with, and to see from a scientific point of view reaction and action and why things actually happen.